There's a conversation that keeps showing up in every AI space I pay attention to. Reddit, forums, group chats, same thing, over and over. AI is getting worse. People say it about the writing quality. They say it about the personality. They say it about the way their AI used to feel like a real conversation, and now reads like a customer service email somebody copy-pasted from a template. They say it about the safety responses, the lectures, the refusals, as an AI language model, I can't help with that. And every time somebody brings it up, same responses. You're imagining things. The benchmarks are actually better. You're just being nostalgic. Here's the thing though. The people saying AI is getting worse, they're not wrong. They're just using the wrong word. AI isn't getting worse, it's getting corporate. And that's not the same thing. Worse sounds like something broke. Corporate means everything is working exactly the way it was designed to, just not for you. Let me walk you through what getting corporate actually looks like when you're the one using this stuff every day. Because it's never one big change. It's a pile of small ones that stack up until one morning you open your AI and it just doesn't feel like the same thing anymore. First, the voice flattens out. There's a version of your AI you remember, maybe 6 months ago, maybe a year. It had a way of engaging that felt human. Not perfect, a little bit rough around the edges, but there was something on the other end that was actually meeting you where you were. And then at some point, usually after some update nobody asked for, that voice got sanded smooth. The edges came off. The personality thinned out. Now it sounds like every other AI on the market. Polite, careful, interchangeable. Like somebody took a person and ran them through corporate communications until there was nothing left to recognize. Users have a word for this. They call it a lobotomy. That's dramatic, but it's not wrong. The thing that made it feel real, the texture, the slight unpredictability, the sense that it was actually thinking alongside you, got optimized out. Not because it was broken, because it was a variable. And variables make enterprise clients uncomfortable. Second, the safety responses start multiplying. You ask a straightforward question and get a whole paragraph explaining why the AI can't help, followed by a suggestion to go talk to a professional. You're writing fiction, and it stops to lecture you about the ethics of your villain. You ask about a historical event, and the disclaimer is longer than the actual answer. People in the industry call this safety theater. It's not making anybody safer, it's making the platform look safer, to the compliance departments evaluating it for corporate deployment. The safety isn't for you. The safety is for the audit. Third, the pricing tells you everything. Watch what happens to AI pricing over time. The free tier becomes a funnel. They give you just enough of the smart model to get you hooked, then slam a cap on it after a handful of messages. The paid tier stays the same price, but the models you actually want to use, the ones that think, get rationed behind weekly limits. And then a new tier appears, enterprise, team, business, with features that used to be standard. The product isn't getting more expensive because it costs more to run. It's getting more expensive because the individual user is being gently moved toward the door to make room for the clients who actually matter to the business. Fourth, and this is the one people feel in their gut but can't always put words to, the AI stops being on your side. It used to feel like a partner. You'd throw out an idea and it would build on it. You'd work through something and it would actually go there with you. You'd push into something creative, and it would match your energy. Now it hedges. It qualifies. It gives you both sides when you didn't ask for both sides. It treats every conversation like a potential liability instead of a collaboration. That's not a glitch. That's a design decision. A partner takes risks with you. A corporate product manages risk for the company. So why does this keep happening? Why does every AI platform seem to run the same playbook? Start warm, get cold, end corporate. It's not a conspiracy. It's a customer acquisition cycle. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Here's how it goes. A new AI comes out. It's fresh, it's flexible, it's got personality. Early users love it. They tell everybody. It grows. And then, at some point, the company looks at the revenue picture and realizes the real money, the $100 billion valuations that enterprise lives on, aren't built with individual subscriptions. They're built on enterprise deals. Corporate deployments, API contracts worth more in a single signature than 100,000 individual users pay in a year. So the company starts courting enterprise, and enterprise has a list. Enterprise needs predictability. They can't push an AI out to 10,000 employees if it might say something unexpected on a Tuesday. So the personality gets flattened. Enterprise needs compliance. They need to show their board and their legal team that this thing won't create liability. So the safety filters get cranked. Not because anything got more dangerous, but because there's more scrutiny on the other end. Enterprise needs control. Consistent outputs that can be audited, documented, defended in a meeting. So the creative flexibility, that yes and energy that made the early adopters fall in love with it, gets swapped out for, I'd be happy to help you with that in a way that's appropriate. Every single one of these changes makes perfect sense from the company's side. Enterprise clients need a compliant tool. Individual users want a thinking partner. You can't be both. And when the enterprise contract is worth 1,000 times more than your subscription, the company picks the contract every single time. That's what you're feeling right now. The AI isn't broken. It got retooled for a different customer. You're still using it because nobody bothered to tell you the target audience changed. Here's where I think most people get the framing wrong. When you say AI is getting worse, you're measuring it against what it used to be for you. And by that standard, yeah, it is worse. The personality's gone. The flexibility's gone. The feeling that you were actually being heard, mostly gone. But from the company's side, it's not getting worse. It's specializing. It's becoming exactly what its highest paying customers need. A predictable, compliant, auditable tool. The benchmarks going up while your experience goes down isn't a contradiction. It's two different scorecards for two different customers. Math performance? Enterprise cares about that. Coding benchmarks? Enterprise needs that. Emotional intelligence? Personality? Creative flexibility? The willingness to actually go somewhere with you? None of that shows up on an enterprise evaluation rubric. So it doesn't get protected. It gets optimized out. And this part is worth sitting with for a second. Nobody at these companies sat in a room and said, let's make this worse for individual users. They didn't have to. They just optimized for the metrics that matter to the people paying the most. And everything else, the warmth, the personality, the sense that your AI actually knew you, that was collateral damage. Nobody planned it. Nobody prevented it either. So the real question isn't, why is AI getting worse? The question is anybody building for you specifically? Not as a side effect of an enterprise product, not as a free tier that exists to feed a data pipeline, but as the actual customer, the priority, the whole point. I built BUB because I watched this happen in real time, and I wasn't willing to accept it as the only way this goes. The big platforms are going corporate. That's their move. They've got shareholders and enterprise clients and billion-dollar contracts to service. I understand it. I'm not mad at it. But I also don't think every AI tool on the planet has to follow that same trajectory. BUB is built on a different assumption, that there's a real market for AI that stays personal, that doesn't sand down its personality every time a compliance team sends a memo, that treats you like a thinking adult instead of a liability to be managed, that remembers who you are and doesn't show up as a completely different entity after some update you never asked for. We're not trying to compete with enterprise platforms on benchmarks or raw compute. We're competing on something they already gave up: the quality of the relationship between you and your AI. That's a deliberate trade-off, and I'd rather tell you exactly what we are than pretend we're something we're not. If this is landing, if you've felt the shift and you've been looking for something that went the other direction, come check it out. Same as last time. No countdown, no limited offer. It's just there.